Hello and welcome to our Year 3 reading workshop with Miss Tyler. I hope you're going to find this workshop useful. I'm just going to go through all of the Year 3 expectations that we have here at Dilks. So at Dilks Academy, we focus on 3 aspects of reading, which are decoding, comprehension and attitude. I'm going to go through what each of these mean in detail, along with what your child will need to achieve this year. So reading is taught throughout during daily guided reading sessions and weekly comprehension sessions. Children who are still not confident with their phonic knowledge have interventions to help them develop their skills. These often happen during afternoon sessions. In Year 3, we also do something called Fresh Start reading, which really helps the children develop their phonics skills. End of year expectations in Year 3. So for decoding means that they can read further exception words, noting the unusual correspondences between spelling and sound. They can read a range of fiction and non-fiction texts without support, and they understand what these mean. They can use prefixes, suffixes and verb endings to help them understand the meaning of words. We also go through this within our spelling sessions as well as our reading sessions. To understand apostrophes and what they do, so things in words like don't and can't and can, pronounce them correctly. We also go through this within our shared modelled rights to reinforce this. They can use what they've read to work out the meaning of new words. So if they're unsure of a word, they can read the sentence around it to try and work out the meaning of that word. They can read aloud and with expression. And they can also attempt pronunciation of unfamiliar words, drawing links to their prior knowledge. So their end of year expectations for comprehension. They are expected to be able to read and discuss a range of fiction, poetry, plays and non-fiction texts. Be able to make predictions based on reading books by the same author or on a similar theme. At the moment, we're reading a book by Jill Murphy, and they're really focusing on those predictions, and they're thinking about why they're making those predictions. So they're also relating it to the text, which is really good. They can understand features of a page layout in non-fiction texts, such as titles, subheadings, labels, diagrams and charts, and read them in appropriate ways and explain their contribution that they have to the text. They can also use these as well when they're answering comprehension questions to make it quicker for them to answer those questions. They should also be able to describe the main differences between fiction and non-fiction texts, know the difference between a story and a play script, and how that changes the way that they read them. They should be able to use their knowledge of the alphabet to locate books and information. We have been working on this recently by using some thesauruses to look up different synonyms for the word said. They can choose suitable books for the task that they've been set. For example, they might select an atlas if we were doing map work. They can understand all the main points of a story and retell them. Recently, we have done this within Jack and the Beanstalk. They created story maps to be able to retell the story, and they've also done this for the text that we've done in English of Scarlet. They can also identify the main points in non-fiction text and can summarise what they've read. They can select and read a text carefully to locate specific information. For example, they may use a contents page to find the relevant information to them. They can make sensible predictions about what will happen next in the story and to different characters. Again, we've really been working in Year 3 on looking back in the text to explain why they have chosen their prediction. They are starting to use evidence from the text to explain how characters behave or how they might feel. For example, we might look at the character of Miss Hardbroom and say to the children may say, I think Miss Hardbroom is a mean teacher because in the text it says. And we're really encouraging the children to use this structure to help them start to use evidence from the text. They should be able to recognise similarities in plots or characters in different stories. For example, in the text that we're reading at the moment in The Worst Witch, we looked at different stories that they may already know with witches or wizards. They can ask relevant questions to get a better understanding of a text. This may include word meaning, or if they're unsure of the plot as to why a character has chosen to do something. They can draw inferences such as character feelings, thoughts and motives for their actions. They can use a dictionary to check the meaning of unfamiliar words. Again, this is supported throughout our English and foundation lessons. They can use non-fiction texts to retrieve information. Recently, we did a text on Egypt where they were retrieving information. And I can prepare poems to read aloud and to perform, showing understanding through intonation, tone, volume and action. We are looking at the storm whale very soon in English, which is the children are going to write into a poem and present these as well. End of year expectations in Year 3 for attitude. So we are expecting the children to be able to read silently and with sustained concentration, to be able to use knowledge of authors and types of books to make choices about what they read. So we're looking for them to choose books considering those elements. And we're also looking for them to be able to contribute to group discussions about books. We encourage this within our English sessions just as much as we encourage this in guided reading. So within Comprehension Key Skills that are developed in Year 3, we have very different types of questions. So we have retrieval, inference, language use, word meaning, and structure and organisation. So within our reading comprehension lessons, we often take a small snippet of text like this, and it's the same small part of text. And then we look at the retrieval, inference, language, word meaning, and organisation. So we've prepared this so that you know what the children are doing and the types of questions that you may like to ask your children at home to support with their learning. So for example, the text may be, when Tim drew back his sitting room curtains, he saw the ruined flower beds and he was furious. Oh no, not again, Mary said when he went into the kitchen and told her. Tim set off to speak to Mr. Jackson about the flock getting out and doing more damage. This time, Tim thought, I shall ask him to tidy it all up and pay for new plants. So we always then start with a retrieval question. So what did Tim do in the sitting room? So these are questions that the children can lift from the text. Inference questions, what sort of creature walks on the flowers? So again, looking in the text for clues, they're reading in between the lines though, because the answer won't necessarily be there, but they need to infer from what they have read. Language, so which word shows that Tim is angry? So we're really focusing on vocabulary as well at the moment within Year 3. Word meaning, so find the word that means damaged. And organisation, why did the author use exclamation marks in the second sentence? We also normally do a sequencing question where the children would then have to resequence the text to help them think about the text and its meaning. So things that you can do to support your child's reading development. So So you can listen to your child read, model to your child reading. I often find that it's really lovely if you read a page or a sentence and then your child reads a page or a sentence, because then they'll start mimicking your intonation and your expression. And asking retrieval, inference and words in context to questions. So like the questions that we just went through, you could ask your child questions in those ways. At the moment, we are focusing on retrieval and word meaning. If you have any questions at all, please contact either myself, Miss Tyler, or Mr. Morton, who is our other Year 3 class teacher. I hope you found this session useful.